And it's so important for us who are doing church in diaspora to understand what it means to affect the community that God has called you. Is it really working or not? It's not working.
It is working.
But I'm pressing it. I'm pressing it. It's not working. Excellent. Where is it? Okay, it's not working. Okay. Give me the second slide. Okay, I'll go for my notes. Now, there are reasons why we have to affect our community, why we need to make a difference. See, if you don't know why, you will focus on what. It's so important to know why. Why is the motivation? Why is the passion? Why is what keeps you awake? Why is what makes you alive? So important to know why. So why? I'm going to give you three why you must affect your community. Number one is a biblical mandate. Biblical mandate, because if you look at Matthew 5:13-16, it talks about us being salt and light to our community. Right? The way God made us is that we just don't exist, but we become a catalyst and become light in the darkness. So I'm not going to read it because I'll give out you're all Bible scholars. So, but if you read Matthew 5:13-16, you will understand that Jesus was actually telling the people that you have to be a salt and a light to your community. And then the second reason is for compassion purpose. It's for compassion purpose, right? You cannot come into a community and just live in the community without loving the community and having compassion on the community.
Yes, sir.
God himself was the first person who showed compassion. John 3:16, for God so loved. He loved and then he gave. Same context God wants us to be. He wants us to love the community and then give the very best of us to the community. He demonstrated his own examples. And the third reason will be to effect change. We effect change because we want to contribute. We want to contribute in decisions that will influence the community and leave legacy for emerging generation. Now, if you read Jeremiah 29, you see about the children of Israel in exile. And then they were thinking that, hey, we're going to die in exile, nothing's going to happen again and stuff like that. But God said to them, marry, bear children, plant vegetation, do business in this community you have found yourself in diaspora. Don't keep packing your bags that one day you go back home. Engage and integrate with the community and see what the community brings out for you. Now, the question most people then ask is, how do I make a difference in my community? It's the question everybody asks. How do I really make difference in this community? Right. You must be prepared to cross a very long bridge. A very, very long bridge. It's a bridge that the community that you find yourself might actually bring prejudice. You know what prejudice means?
Yes, sir.
Right? The community can actually bring a bit of racism. You can't avoid it. And the community itself will give you a culture shock. And it's a mixture of acceptance and rejection. But the challenge here for you is not to overheal yourself and say, oh, I'm here. I'm not going to do anything because they've been prejudiced about me. I'm black, they're white, and that's why they're not giving me the job. And that's why I'm not affecting the community. Or you cannot say, oh, it's because they don't like the color of my skin, or this culture just shocked me. I don't want to do anything. I will keep it to myself. Or you can say, no, because they will not accept me, I'm just going to save where I am. We were talking yesterday about this whole issue about culture, context, and Jewish and Gentile kind of stuff. It is not new. It's biblical. When the Jews were scattered from Jerusalem after the matter of Stephen, they went all over the place, correct? And they went as far as to Italy here, to Greece, to Malta, to Turkey. They went up to Cyprus. They went all over the place because they were scattered. But guess what happened? The first people that were in what we call Antioch Church, which is Cyprus today. What was happening there was very similar to what you are having here, because they were a church in diaspora. Are you with me? So when they started in Acts chapter 11, what they did was they were a church to themselves. They didn't allow anybody that was not Jewish to join them. So they were singing their own song, they were praying their own thing, they were doing whatever they were doing. If you're not Jew, if you come, they'll shut the door on you. Because the song, the sermon, the everything was Jewish. Right? And then some brothers who have now traveled to other parts. It's very similar. Bible is repeating itself. They then came over to Antioch. And then they were wondering that, come on guys, you are just witnessing to the Jews alone. What's happening to the Greeks that lives in this land? We can't continue to minister to the Jews alone. Guess what they did? Then they began to do ministry to those who are in the land, who are Greeks, who lives in that land around that time. Guess what happened to the church? The church blew up its own face. The church so grew that the result was then sent over to them in Jerusalem. So the people in Jerusalem thought, what? This church in diaspora have grown so much. So what did they do? They packed Paul. They said, Apostle Paul, go and see what's happening. Paul went over to them. And when Paul saw what was going on, how God was moving around them, Paul said, hold on a minute. He ran over to go and pick Barnabas. And he brought Barnabas onto the church. And the Bible said the church began to grow. The church was growing because it was now a church that had now mixed and engaged in the diaspora. In fact, it became a church that was actually funding other churches when they were in famine. But one thing was standard in there. When Paul and Barnabas came, the Bible said for 1 whole year, they taught them the word of God. Because it was a church that was worldly central. When you fast forward, you move to Acts chapter 13, you now understand that this church had now become so established. In fact, the church was so relevant and so important that in Acts chapter 11, they were the first place that the believers were called what? They became an impactful, relevant church. But they were a church in diaspora, like you. They came out of where they are into another community, but they determined that they are going to be a church of relevance. By the time you get to Acts chapter 13, this church has moved to a different level. In fact, according to Christendom, in the biblical research, it says by 245 AD, that church in Antioch, which was the first church, had about 100,000 people. Amazing stuff. But by the time you get to Acts chapter 13, you realize that this church has 6 leaders of different nationalities. Amazing stuff. Different background, different ethics, different nationalities. In fact, there were 2 Africans there. One from Libya. And there was a youth pastor who came in from Emperor Antipas. There was Paul, there was Silas, there were 6 leaders, multi-ethnic, multi-dynamic, multi-gifted, who are now in this church in diaspora. How do you find 6 ethnic leaders mixed, and yet the church was thriving? And the Bible tells us that this church was filled of the Spirit. Church which identified the gift of God to operate within them. And it was also a church that was sending away, because they sent their best away. By get verse 3 of Acts chapter 13. The Lord says, separate Paul and Barnabas, so that they may be sent. They sent their best away. They were a church who are not just holding to themselves, but a church that wants to be relevant in the community that God has brought them. So there was no issue, because this was a Jewish people who are totally integrated with the Greek and brought other nationalities so that the church was expanded. So these are the things you need to start to do. To engage your community and to have influence, you must learn to first take what I call a baby step. You are not going to take a giant step. So what are the things you first do? Every missionary in the world, the first thing they tell you to do when you go into a new land is to unlearn and relearn. Let me repeat that. Every single missionary, you have to what? Unlearn. What do you unlearn? You unlearn your context, you unlearn your culture, you unlearn everything you have inherited from where you are coming. Then you now relearn in the community you find yourself. You see, it's in Taylor White when he went to minister in China. He never reached out and got anything going for many years when he was there. Until somebody said to him, maybe you start dressing like the people here and eating their food. That might make a difference. And in 1 year, the whole place transformed. You have to unlearn your mind. You have to unlearn your thinking. You have to unlearn all those, how do you dress? How do you do tattoo? How do you do what? Does that matter? We're in a different context. We're in a context of the world where we don't operate by dictatorship. We operate by what? Postmodernism. The worldview is different. In Africa, the way we are brought up, when I say it, you don't need to ask me a question. You do it. In this context, when you ask me, I tell, why should I do it? I don't need to. I have choices. I have authority. So you have to unlearn the ideology. You have to unlearn the context of the culture. You have to unlearn the people. You have to derobe yourself. What I mean by derobe? There is a robe we all come in when we enter into this world. Don't ever forget that you are a church in diaspora. Always remember that. You are not in Nigeria. You are what? In diaspora. You are not in your community. You are not in your original base. The moment you land, you travel from where you are, and you find yourself in another place, you have become a missionary. And the first thing a missionary does is to derobe yourself and enter the robe of the land so that you can witness to the people. So and then you become intentional. As a church, you have to, if you're not intentional, you will not grow. If you're not intentional, you will always be romancing culture, religion, and denominational ethics. You must be intentional. Intentionality there means, what am I here for? Why did God call me here? What am I doing? What am I doing? You must have a purpose. You must have a vision that drives you in terms of what you want to do. And then you must be strategic. Don't just do things because that's the way it is. You must have a strategy. Think about yourself. In the next 5 years, what do I want to be? What do I want the church to be? What impact do I want to stay like? If you're not strategic and don't have plan, nobody's going to follow you. You are leaving nobody. And then you must be open. Open to homosexuals. Open to anybody without losing focus and integrity. But does that mean you be open? Open. We are called to a community that is different from ours. You are going to meet all manner and all sorts of people. And that's why you have to be open without losing your doctrine and integrity of who you are. It's a race. And that race starts with what? On your marks. So when you're on your marks, what do? A couple of things you need to do when you're on your marks, before you even engage at all. First of the things you do is that what? You pray and what? And research your community. You will never affect a community you don't know their history. You will never affect a community you don't know their demographics. You will never affect a community you don't know their culture and their context. It's okay, we know our own culture and context. That's why we're all together. But it's different from other communities and culture. So the culture is important. How do you understand the culture? There's so many things to do. You can read about the culture. You can interact with the culture. We can engage with the culture. And that's why I said you have to derobe to rerobe. To derobe means you pack everything you have aside. Let me learn something new about this culture. And part of that is to understand the people. People are very different all over Europe, all over the world naturally. I was in America, I was listening to one speaker talking about emotional intelligence of different people around the world. Why some people have a high level of listening. They said in France, I don't know whether there's some French people there, so when you finish meeting with them, and then you repeat again to them and say, what we've said is that you are going to do this, that you recap. Immediately, they believe that you don't trust them. And business is over. Right? That's part of learning the culture of the people. If it is in England, you have to repeat it. Yes. So we understand that what you say is what you mean. Right? In Japan, when you finish talking and you want to ask questions, you say anybody asks a question, nobody will put their hands up because it's not in the culture. But how do you know who wants to ask a question is the person that looks at you in the face. So you are now going to be able to ask the person, do you have any question? And the person will say, yes, I have a question. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's about understanding the people. And then you also need to understand their needs. You will never engage with anybody if you don't know their needs. Their needs is important. It's the entry point in engaging with the people. What is the needs of the people? What are the needs of this community? Then visits. It's important to visit. You are not going to do anything by just being in your church alone. You have to visit other churches. You have to visit the community what pubs mean in England? Where people drink. That doesn't mean I drink to drink beer. But you want to know who are in this area. You drink with them. You have the sandwiches with them. We English, we love our sandwiches. We just take the sandwich, you enjoy with them. You make friends. You learn the language. And you learn the context of the language as well. Because what it means to you, your language might not be mean. When an English person says to you, that's brilliant, very good. What he's saying to you is so rubbish. Because an English person is so polite. They're polite to you, but they're telling you in your face. So if you can't take it on the face value, you have to understand the intricacies of what the language of the people is and the context in which they operate. So, here are the key entry points you want to engage with your community. They are the key area to explore. Number one, you have to understand, are there educational area where I can engage with this community? Are there people who educational area in whatever capacity? Can I influence the schools? Can I create a space for the schools to be engaged with what I do? Can I create opportunities for anything that is educational? Can I even create a space where there's a church in UK, a Chinese church? What they've done is, because Mandarin has become one of the most spoken language in the world, they created a Mandarin speaking lessons in their own church. And guess what? Most of the English people are coming into their church every Sunday to come and have 2 lessons of learning how to speak Mandarin. So maybe there's some people who want to learn some context of, there's be some area for you. Then what about politics? Politics is another entry point. You have to understand, sit down, which of this area can I affect and influence my community? What about business? What about sports and entertainment? What about family? Children, adults, youth in many areas? And what about engaging with the police? Because police wants to catch criminals. If you can help police doesn't need to work, then police become your friend. As long as you have criminals. Now, let's do. You get set to make a difference. To make a difference is all about what? Relationship. You are 5 people away to the most powerful person in the world. Relationships. Everything we've done, I'm here today because of relationships. Everything we've done successfully in what we do in the United Kingdom is about relationships. I so believe relationships is unbelievable because I know one thing. Your gift will make way for you. But you will never become greatness if the way is not made for you for your gift. What is that way that is made for you? Is relationship. Some people are gifted. Many of you are gifted, but you can die with your gift without making any impact. There are so many gifted people that will never become great and will die with their gift. Why? Because that bridge of relationship that will connect you from where you are, from where you need to be, you are missing it. It's so important to understand that the key that unlocks anything in your life or any community or anything you do is what? Relationship. See, what you know will only take you to a very little extent. They say what you know will only give you about 25% of capacity of your life. Who you know will give you further. And who you know is a function of what? Relationship. And then this is the word that is most powerful. The people that know about you, that you don't even know about, that recommends you. Yes. And that only happens when you have been giving yourself out to. See, it's possible that you are a church that is not even people you know, it's not even what you do. But people have been hearing about you. People have been, engaging with what is going on with you. So you now become a reference point and a point of recommendation based on the fact that they know you are operating in a way that is unique. When Saul was mad, King Saul was mad, somebody recommended to him and said, there's one boy called David. He is skilled in playing the instrument. Now, David didn't recommend himself. David didn't know Saul. But someone knew. Are you with me? Yes, sir. So, often there is somebody that knows the capacity and the efficiency and the depth that you have that recommends you and take you to greatness. So, you have to build a relationship. I like the fact that you say you have small churches. I can't let you in small churches. That's a wonderful lady. She's a pastor of our church in a place called Canvey Island. I don't know, the first time I got there, I said, wow, what is this? Canvey Island. I don't even know there's an island in the UK. Very small island. The church has only about 8 or 9 people. And she said to me that I want to influence my community, but I'm only 10 in the church, 9. My 2 daughters are in the worship team. And my boy is the one that played the drum. So my daughters, my son, myself, we are 4. Then my sister and her husband. And maybe 2 or other 3 people that come. That's what we are. And she said to me, but I am desperate to influence this community. What do I do? Then I sat down with her and do what I call a little bit of analysis. I said, where's your church? He said, Canvey Island. I said, where is that? He said, some island, whatever. I said, fantastic. I said, are there only other churches in that places that are? He said, no, I'm the only black church in the community. I said, you won't go. You won't be. He said, what do you mean? We are only 10. I said, forget the number. You use what you have to get what you want. You will never get what you want if you don't know what you have. It's because you don't know what you have that you are running empty. A man or woman that knows what he or she has, you can never play loss. I said, you got some, say what? I said, you are the only black church in that community. I said, you are good. He said, but how? We are only 8 or 9. Best day we are 10. I said, you still don't get me. You are up. So I said to her, I said, let me help you write a letter to your MP and to your mayor. I said, what is the next important thing that is happening? He said, Mother's Day. I said, fantastic. I said, write a letter to them that you are inviting them to the only black church in your community, that you want to integrate with them and you want to suppose them into the context, into the culture, into the narratives of the black people, so that the next election the black people can vote for them. You have to. So this lady said, I don't know what to write. I said, bring. Because oftentimes we need destiny helpers. Those who have been where you have not. Those who can help you to take the step from here to there. So we wrote the letter. After she wrote the letter, I said then, ask them before the Mother's Day that you want to come and visit them. I said, go with your husband, her sister's husband, like a doctor. I said, use the professionals in your church. I said, when that one go there, you say, I'm a doctor. I mean, you know, when you carry weight, nobody will say no. So she went. She booked an appointment to see the MP, to see the mayor. So both of them agreed. She said, hey. He said, hey, they are coming home. We are only 10. I said, calm down. It doesn't matter if you are 10. He said, but how am I going to do? I don't even have a pulpit. Or whatever. I said, don't do church like a pulpit on that day. I said, grab a sofa. Put a sofa around, a carpet, and a table. Understand what the Englishman wants. You want to affect the community. Invite your cousin, auntie, everybody, everywhere. Tell them it's a battle. Pack all of them in. They are not going to come once. So he brought about, by the time we total ourselves, we were about 20 on that day. So this guy, they came. They always come on time. Here they come. I came, I went there myself. So I welcomed them because I understand their language, their context. I started messing up their brain from the moment. I started messing them up, you know. So they were so happy. I said, cook the jollof rice, because jollof rice is repetiles instead of sandwiches. But engage them with coffee. When they come, say, don't start with that. Have coffee, have cakes, have whatever. So create an environment, create a relationship, break down the walls. Because you are going to cross over. Don't do business from the first minute. Show them, have things of what you are doing, what you want to do. Let them know that you are about to help them in becoming relevant people in the community. Help them know that the next election is because you are going to help them in engaging other people. You know, throw all kind of things down for them. These guys, by the time the service was over, that wasn't sad because we just sat down on the sofa. Because you don't have to have a pulpit every time and do whatever. It's God. You know, we sat down, have a service. I spoke, they spoke. I said, interview. On the day. She has an MP here. She has the MP, and MP was the lady, and that was the mayor. She sat in the middle, and they asked them questions. Let the congregation ask them questions. Behave, there are only 10 people, but act as if you are the General Simo. You know, she was getting confidence, more confident. These people didn't want to go thereafter. But today, she now sits in many of their boards. She was only a church of 10 people. It's about using what you have to get what you want. You know what you have. That's why you cannot afford prejudice. I'm black. They are all white. I don't have anything. It's because you don't know what you have. So relate and connect with decision makers, the stakeholders, and the gatekeepers of your community. right? Declare what you can offer and with whom you want to collaborate and leverage. If possible, explore opportunity and gaps. But there is it. Be clear of your communication and media strategy. Why did I say that? If anybody is going, the first thing I told this lady, when she said she wants to engage, I said, let me see your website. It's one of those websites that when you go there, you see the wife with the big hat and the husband leaning over like that. In most Redeemed churches' website. What does that mean? I'm not shooting some people here, but it's the truth. But that's the only thing you do. You see the husband and you see the wife with the big hat and the mantle is in there. It's not Photoshop. We want to come to the website to know what is going on, what can you offer? And then I go to some website, I'm thinking, where's the service time? Where's the address? Because it's only the photo of the pastor and his wife I'm seeing. I'm saying, but who comes to the website to come and see the picture of the wife and the husband? You come and, what are the things people look for when they go to a church website? The address of the church and the time of the service. That must be the first thing on top of the service. So I said your website, I used 1 week to rebrand our website. I said, because the moment you say I'm inviting you, what is the next thing I'm going to do next? Check your website. So once I check your website, I know this one doesn't carry weight. No need to waste my time. So it's important to know that you are clear about your communication, your comms. I always talk about this thing: inception, perception, and reality. What you incept is what people perceive, but only you know the reality. Inception, not deception. Inception is what you say, I'm throwing out for you. Perception is what you perceive from what I am throwing out at you. But don't let me know the reality. I always give the example of whenever I go to Nigeria. Once I get to, I don't normally carry luggage when I go to, because my brother and I will wear the same size and whatever. So when I get home, I just wear his clothes, wear his slippers, jump into his car, and I'm driving. So the people are saying, yes sir, well, the police are stopping me. I say, foolish people. They don't know that I don't own the dress, I don't own the car, I don't own anything. I am incepting, and they are perceiving, but only know the reality. Hallelujah. Are you feeling what I'm saying? So it's important to know what are you projecting. Nobody is ever judged by reality. Because you don't know them, you don't know me. You are already judging me right now, but you don't know me. But what are you judging me based on what I am accepting? So you are creating a perception. Until you get close to me, you know the reality. So you have to understand how to be clear about your media, social, and all this stuff. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Listen, your church can be on the global world without spending a penny. A church that doesn't have a social media department, as we have choir, worship, and prayer band, you will never affect nothing. The world has changed. Only 49% of the people are listening to sermon preached by pastor. 51% are being discipled by social media. 92% of the generation of the young people will engage with, they will check their phone first thing in the morning. 94 will check their phone at night. And another 92 will check their phone in the middle of the night. They are not checking the Bible. They are checking the phone. Maybe some of you are. So we live in a world where media, we live in a technologically media environment. And if you are a church, you really want to affect the community, it's not a rocket science. If you don't have comms and media, you are not going to affect nobody. It doesn't cost to open up a Twitter page. It doesn't cost to open up a YouTube page. It's free. It doesn't cost to open a Facebook page. Because one of the problems we have as black people is we don't record our stories. We just do it. Who is recording it? Where are precedents? Who's going to check it later? And these things are there for you free to be able to engage. I remember one time I went to, I came to a conference, Pastor Jola, and your media, their social media team in their church, they are at another level. I hope they are still like that. Yes, sir. I entered the church from the back. Before the back from the back I entered the church, there I was just greeting some people. And I went to the front, I sat, and as I sat, my phone just pinged the Twitter. And they've taken my picture, and they put it on Twitter. Yemi in the house. I said, these people, they got it. They got it. You see, when I go to churches and people are taking pictures, I always like to ask the people that they say, what are you going to do with the picture? They say, we take the picture because they are. So what are you going to do with it? And we put it in an archive. Those days are past. In fact, the picture you take now at this conference that is not in the global world is wasted tomorrow. Because other people have taken over. Events are past events. You see, I went to a church. I said, when you have a camera, don't buy those cameras where you take the picture and then you go and then download it. There are some cameras now, as you are taking it, you are. That's the world that we live. How will people know this thing is happening in Mango? How will they know? The only way they can know right now and follow what is going on right now as we are talking, somebody should be tweeting, telling the world, this is happening in Mango, this is happening, somebody should be, the whole global world should be messing up right now. There should be a Twitter page on this thing that says, tweet this thing as this talk is going, which will hit about 100,000 people. Life as we are here. That is the world we live. That's the world the people that say the hashtag Mambo, the whole of the Mambo community is thinking, what's happening here? What's going on? Something is happening here. Because there are people who are tracking.
Wow.
Just do it. Go for it. So how do you do it? These are examples of how you access your community. Depending on the demographics and the community content, in England they have like food bank, I thought, for those who are poor refugees, you engage with them. Some of you live within a demographic of people who are homeless. Mothers and toddlers. Mothers, they always want somewhere to put their babies if you have that facilities. What about the youth? So many children initiatives you can engage with. What about people who also learn the language? Is there any one of you that understand the language? What about creating opportunities for people to come and learn the language from you? What about building business? Building ministry and business together? Because in every one of you, God has given you some amazing gifts. You see, nobody will ever pay you what you are worth. Let me repeat that. Nobody will ever pay you what you are worth. You are the only one that knows what you're worth. And what you're worth is a function of how you turn that gift into greatness. I was in a church, and one of the hospitality ladies there, in diaspora, church in diaspora, the lady said to me that my papers are not complete yet, but I can walk. But I said, you can cook. She said, yes, but I said, let me give you an idea how you can become what I thought. If I gave her a term, I said, is bringing the restaurant experience into your house. I said, you only need money. You buy all manners of those things that ladies they use to decorate. You even give it a premium diamond, like they do in the airline. So depending on what you want, I will cook the food, I will set the diamond table, or I can set the premium table, or I can set the whatever class you want. Then you serve them like if you are. So instead of me going to a restaurant, you are creating it. All you need is just my table and my chair, and you turn it into a restaurant for me. My guest doesn't need to leave. On Sunday, I can tell my wife, baby, don't cook. We are having a restaurant, but in the house. Here you come, you knock on the door, you lay the table, you set everything up, fork and knife, some serious cutlery, glass cups, table, everything, and you wear your apron, you said, ready to serve. Yes. And then you come with a flower. I said, this flower is from Mrs. So I run upstairs and say, Mrs. Hey, baby, dinner is ready. She thinks I'm the one bringing the flower. She doesn't know it's the lady. So we sit down, you wait on us, and we finish eating. Some people, they have money, but they don't have the time. So you target your market. So I have guests. Instead of going to restaurants, I don't know what they are cooking for me. I can tell you what I want. It's healthy eating. Smoothies and everything. By the time you go, chink, your account is running with money. So who knows that you are, before you know it, you are growing in business. God has given it everybody something. Because if you don't know what you have, you'll never be able to achieve anything. Relate and connect with your people. Walk the street to know the people. Make yourself known. will amaze you what you will learn. Make friends with the local people over drinks in local gatherings. Go to pub. I don't know whether you have pubs here, Buy drinks, talk to people. Ask them about the question, the story about the area. Show interest in other people. It's by showing interest that you yourself will learn about the community that God has brought you. Read the local newspaper. It's very important. Don't go back and be reading the one read the local newspaper. Be acquainted with local issues. Be able to discuss the local issues with people when you meet with them as it affects you, affects your community. Expose your children to the culture and let them bring their friends back home. It might be shocking, but you will get used to it. The first time my daughter brought one of her friends home, and the lady knocked the door and said, "Hello, Yemi." I wanted to slap her, but I just I said, "Hey." So I told my daughter, I said, it's not acceptable though. He said, for that, when I go to their house, I said, Beatrice, Simon, that's the place of the father and mother. I said, I've not gone to that yet. I cannot, I'm not culturally derobed enough for a 10-year-old to come in and say, "Hello, Yemi," I will slap your face. So he said, my daughter was confused, but what should she say? Should you say Mr. Yemi? I said, okay, I'll manage Mr. Yemi. But I just can't understand that word. What do you mean? These are some of the cultural challenges. You understand what I'm saying? But that's what you're going to get when you invite them, because they call each other by name. So be known as a contributor. Visit schools, libraries, town centers, civil centers, and hospitals. Attend local churches and introduce yourself. Go to the churches that are not yours. Write to your local politicians, elected politicians, and send information and news and pictures about what is happening in your church and your community to them. They want to know as much as you want to know. So create a point of reference. Yes, I'll finish now. 10 minutes more. I will even finish before 10 minutes. Don't worry. I always keep the time. Yeah, I'm very English. So do that. Now, this is a very interesting question. It's a very interesting picture, which I love. Why I love that picture? Because the picture saddened me a little bit, but it also makes it inspires me that I have a lot of work to do. Here's the last mayoral election for London, for the city of London. Here are all the contestants contesting for the mayoral election. And this was held in a church called Kensington Temple. So I was asked in my capacity and my role as the director in the Evangelical Alliance to come and speak to all the mayoral candidates on the influence of churches in our community. But here was I speaking to all of them. Eventually, he ended up becoming the mayor. But what saddened me and provoked me was, as I sat on the front row with one of our bishops, one of the bishops of England, and I said to him, I said, "We have failed." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "We are so failed, it's unbelievable." I said, "Each one of these contestants, none of them is a Christian. And they are hostile to be the mayor in a church. 52% of the people living in the city of London are Christian. The next religion that is next, 3%, which are Muslims. And yet, we're the one that been on the plate." Do you make sense to me? Yes. So I have to tell him that, "Sir, I think we have failed. We've lost something." And he then gave me a provocation that, not on my watch again, because I will do everything possible to encourage the younger generation to take their position. What am I saying? You need to encourage your children who are born into this country, that they are to take their place of influence in the community that God has brought you. Make sense to you? Right? These are the people. Let's see where most people are. They're on the sideline watching. It's time to quit watching from the sideline. Become a city changer. No one influences from the sideline. Real influences are the people who are playing. Most Christians are like this. They are watching and they say, "We are praying." See, advocacy is both prayer and involvement. What has happened is that most of us, we pray, but we never send anybody inside. So we have a lot of Moses praying, no Joshua in the battle. And so we never win anything. Here's something. I brought this, I figured this one out. One of your guys who lives here in Europe, Peter Bosman, mayor of Para in Slovenia. Black mayor, described as the first black person to become a mayor in former Yugoslavia, as well as the former Eastern Bloc. Originally from Ghana, a Christian. He assumed office in 2010. His inauguration as mayor attracted more members of the media, including international media, than there were council members present. He was elected in 2014 and still remained a mayor, and he's moved on to become a better. But what? He came as a migrant in a diaspora like you and I. But he's become an influencer. Became the very first. In Eastern Bloc, can you imagine? When it was inaugurated, there were media all over the world. That's the kind of difference. You are called to be a winner. Prepare yourself, be on your marks, get to self-difference, and make a difference. Thank you. Anyway, I brought only 20 of these my books. I might see the outside if you want. Most of these things I'm talking about, they are in there. I hate carrying luggage, so I only brought 20. So whoever gets in there will get it. But I want to say thank you.